May I come in, sir?
Yes, come in.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Are you fully vaccinated?
Yes, sir.
No symptoms of COVID, I suppose?
No, sir.
You may remove your mask.
Thank you, sir.
Arpit,
Yes, sir.
please introduce yourself to the board.
Sir, my name is Arpit Sangal. I come from Shamli district of Uttar Pradesh. I did my graduation from IIT Delhi in mathematics and computing. I graduated in 2018. Since then, I have been preparing for civil service examinations. Last year, I got into Indian Police Service, and this time I have appeared again. I am currently on extraordinary leave.
Okay. Arpit, so you are already there in the Indian Police Service. The very name of police sends shivers down our spines, isn't it? Rather than considering respect for the rule of law, police has become a law by itself, a law in itself, I should say. Police excesses, we hear a lot of stories about police excesses, then extrajudicial killings by police, crackdown on dissenters, rise of crime against women, and there's a long list, so on and so forth. Tell me why police has this perception amongst the common man in the country, and what needs to be done to change this perception and make it more human.
So first is related to why there is such a perception. This is related to multiple reasons. First is that if we see internally the functioning of the police, there is a lot of disenchantment among police officials, primarily because to long working hours, because currently there is around 23% vacancies in police. They work around 14 hours per day and with less weekly offs. Sir, also they witness that the treatment from senior officials is sometimes not up to the mark, which translate into the treatment they do with the people. So one is related to the internal functioning. Then there is a gap of sensitization training among police. Then that is related to how to deal with public, caste sensitization, gender sensitization, and sensitization about rule of law in general. That the duty of police is primarily to maintain law and order and investigate a crime. Now what needs to be done is, sir, we have to work at multiple fronts. First is regarding the internal functioning of the police. We have to build proper capacity, reducing the vacancies that are there, then proper training of the police officials and sending the signals from the top, proper treatment of the lower subordinates, and proper rules should be conveyed to them that what is the requirement that is there from the police. And so there is need of more engagement with the people, where we need to ensure that there is community policing. More interface with police in general will reduce that perception, and this has been done in certain states but through certain initiatives, such as it was done in Bastar. There was an initiative, Bastar Amcho Police, where they believed in community policing. Similarly, Kerala has also done certain initiatives where a particular policeman is involved with community.
Don't you think that those are very far and few? Those examples are very far and few. What I wanted to ask from you, that perception of the police is still not very good in the minds of the people. The people shudder to go to the police station to lodge even an FIR. So how this face of police can be turned into that of a human face, where you spoke about the community policing. What do you mean by the community policing, by the way?
Sir, in general, that there is more involvement with the general public, wherein they also get involved in reducing the crime by more engagement. It involves various measures which can be taken, like a policeman is attached to a particular region, wherein he will be the first responder if there is a crime. So he generally gets involved in the day-to-day region working, so he understands more about it, and that is primarily more related to
how are you going to sensitize the police force, particularly at the cutting edge level, because common man as a common citizen has interaction only with the police at the cutting edge level, at the grassroots level.
Yes, sir.
How are you going to sensitize them to be more human?
Sir, I think we need to train them. What
kind
is happening?
of training you want to impart?
Sir, One is gender sensitization. Now, there was a survey by in the report of status of policing in India. It was found that the lower constabulary sometimes believe that certain segment are more prone to doing crimes. So when that perception is there, what they tend to do is they tend to neglect the facts. And similarly, proper communication channel right from the top, wherein behavior with the public in general, so as simple as filing of FIRs, should be encouraged and right message should be sent.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So you have done your graduation in mathematics and computing.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, how is quantum computing different from normal computing?
Ma'am, it is primarily related to the processing speed. So the processing speed increase exponentially in quantum computing because it uses quantum principles, wherein in general in the traditional computing we have a concept of bits, that is 0 and 1. A bit can take either 0 at a time or 1 at a time, but in quantum computing that concept is replaced by superposition, that is an entanglement. Through these principles, a bit, which is known as qubit in quantum computing, it can take simultaneously both values based on a probability distribution. So for example, if we have 4 bits, in traditional computing it can be at a one position at a particular time, but in quantum computing it becomes 2 to the power 4. So this enhances our processing power.
And where are quantum computers used?
Ma'am, currently mostly quantum computers are at a growth stage. The highest is around 120 to 130 qubits, which is recently was developed by IBM. So it has applications primarily in regions where there is requirement of high processing, such as simulations of molecules. Molecular bonds require high processing. There is also weather forecast models that require high processing. And currently AI is at a growth stage. So training a model requires high processing. So that can be used there also.
Very right. So you are going to police service.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's take a case study. You are approached by a woman in the case of domestic violence, and you evidently know that this is a fake case and she is just trying to harass family and husband. But as per law, you will have to arrest husband because of the rules which are guided by the IPC. And also media is after you to hold this husband as a culprit or accused. So what will you do?
Ma'am, first of all, I have to segregate my personal feelings, whether I believe that a woman is with ulterior motives coming to me. I have to properly follow the law, wherein if there are provisions in law of arrest, I will make necessary arrest. But if I have a doubt, then what can be done is expediting the investigation, wherein proper, right in the beginning, wherein things like medical checkup, such things can be used, because later on investigation might suffer if there is such a problem. And similarly, I won't budge under the pressure of media. If that's the case, I will just follow rule of law.
Okay, and what is the rule of law? How can it be defined?
Ma'am, various acts of the parliament.
Okay. So you are also a mathematician, I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
So name some famous Indian mathematicians.
Ma'am, we start with Aryabhatta from ancient times, then Srinivas Ramanujan, then we have C.R. Rao, who was involved with Statistical Institute of India. Yes, ma'am, these are Indian.
Any woman mathematician?
Ma'am, Shakuntala Devi, she was good with calculations, but she was not involved in higher mathematical principles that are currently.
Why are women bad in mathematics?
Ma'am, I don't believe that they are bad in mathematics.
Okay, very right. So my last question to you. Recently, High Court has designated Mother Nature as legal person. So what implications does it have?
Ma'am, it will have legal rights that a person has. So in that case, if we try to exploit the nature, then the person exploiting that can be held accountable.
How?
Ma'am, I'm not aware about exactly how law will take its course.
Is it a case of judicial activism?
Yes, ma'am, it can be said that it's a case of judicial activism.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Arpit,
Yes, sir.
you are already a member of IPS.
Yes, sir.
Actually, which service you like most, IAS or IFS? Although you are already given the preferences, but I'm just asking.
Sir, IAS.
IAS, why?
Sir, because one, it is apart from law and order, it is involved in the revenue administration within India. Then I would like to work at the grassroots level within India, interacting with all people, right, from all spectrum of people, and administration in general.
So IPS is also All India service.
Yes,
You
sir.
can work at the ground level.
Yes, sir.
You can work for people
Definitely, sir.
for being an IPS. So what is different in IAS?
Sir, it is regarding the nature of job primarily. So in policing, it is more about law and order, but in IAS, it involves revenue administration at the starting stage and administration in general, where you oversee all the departments. So it will provide me a better learning on ground of various departments and governance in general. And later on, there are more avenues in policy making for an officer in Indian Administrative Service in various departments. So this will give me more opportunities.
Oh, so you are looking for variety of job rather than the authority,
Yes, sir.
right? Arpit, emotional balance is required for a IPS officer. For testing your emotional balance or emotional intelligence, I am giving you a situation. Please listen carefully.
Yes, sir.
You are posted as a superintendent of police in a district of UP, and you are facing a resting crowd of farmers. They are very agitative, catastrophic upon your policing, your type of or nature of policing. They feels that you are a very authoritative kind of police officers. In that situation, how you will handle and how you will manage the crowd?
Sir, first of all, if that signal has been sent from my side, I will try to see whether I have been wrong in any decision making. If I find that I have been wrong, then I will try to rectify itself. If in case I am unable to find myself, I will talk to the crowd that what are their grievances, where I could have gone wrong. In that case, if I could have gone wrong, I would rectify my mistake. If I find that there has not been a problem from my side, I'll try to convince them and tell them about the necessary law that is there, and that should be my signal to them. If in case still there is ruckus, then necessary means to maintain law and order will also be done.
In London Metropolitan Police Act 1829, patrolling has been separated from the investigation. But in Indian Police Act 1861, why both are merged together? Is there any strategy behind it, or it's a coup for
Sir,
Britishers?
There have been reforms suggestions in this aspect, where it has been asked to separate law and order and investigation. What I believe that it might have been done because generally the person maintaining law and order will be more aware about the situation on ground, and there is a close interaction that is needed, even if we separate both law and order and investigation.
So you are talking about the Dharmvira committee. This committee has been recommended for the separation. Any other committee or any other suggestions?
Sir, this suggestion was also given by Supreme Court in the Prakash Singh guidelines.
Right.
Yes, sir.
7 points reform.
Yes, sir.
Our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji also taken initiative for the reform in the policing in 2014 after joining the post of the Prime Ministership, right? He initiated the process of smart policing. What is smart policing?
Sir, smart policing involves use of technology in policing. There have been initiatives like CCTNS, whereas it is crime and criminal tracking network system, and proper digitization of the police stations has also been done.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Smart refers to the S stand for strict and sensitive. How you will strict and sensitive after being a superintendent of police?
Sir, I will try to be strict towards criminals and sensitive towards the general public, especially the vulnerable people.
Okay. A stand for alert and?
Not aware, sir. I am not aware about the...
No issue. Russia strikes and taken back Crimea in 2014.
Yes, sir.
Earlier, Crimea was the part of the Russian sovereignty. in that way, why we are not proceeding to take back Coco Island from Myanmar or Kachativu from Sri Lanka for taking rationales of the national security?
I think there has not been much debate about this in the foreign policy scenario that we have to take those islands. And India, I think, does not, as far as I know, does not consider them as part of India currently. And there is no point in making a crisis when there is not one.
So why we are so philanthropic while dealing with external affair? We have gifted Coco Island by Pandit Nehru ji, and Kachativu has been gifted by Mrs. Gandhi. And being philanthropic, it creates lots of challenges of national security nowadays.
Sir, I believe that our policy should be mostly based on real politics, on the practical situations. Definitely, in the value terms, we should send right signals. But if there is a threat to security, we should abide by practical principles of diplomacy.
Okay, all the best for IAS.
Thank you, sir.
Arpit,
Yes, sir.
tell us something that why the Indian currency, that is Indian rupee, is depreciating in the last few years very sharply.
Sir, one is related to higher crude oil prices. So we send away a lot of dollars there. And in the recent months, there has been outflow of FPI from India. So that has also increased the demand of dollars. So that's why there is depreciation in Indian rupee.
So what measures would you suggest to the government of India to rein in this particular process?
Sir, in the shorter run, sending right signals to the investors, be it FDI or FPI, so that there is stability in that policy, so that there is less change within days. In the longer run, I would suggest that we need to diversify our portfolio of energy. We need to reduce the dependence on crude, move towards renewable energy. And sir, we need to also diversify our exports in general, wherein agricultural exports, handicraft export, and software export can take, we can improve the Make in India initiative, wherein there is more export, thus increasing the value of rupee.
Good. So tell me one thing, that can something be not legal be taxed by the government?
Yes, sir, it is being taxed currently. Cryptocurrency transactions have been taxed.
So why and how?
Sir, because generally cryptocurrency is not a legal tender in India, but having a cryptocurrency is being taxed currently. So you cannot legally pay through cryptocurrency, but having that can be taxed.
So is there any dichotomy there, which is not legal, how the government can actually prove it illegal and then it can be taxed?
So the transactions are not allowed. If I want to buy something and pay through cryptocurrency, that is not allowed currently.
Yes, and what about non-fungible tokens?
Sir, I am not aware about that.
Non-fungible tokens,
Sir,
NFTs?
Sir, sorry, I am not aware about that.
Okay. Tell me one thing, that suppose if I am an American citizen, I want to invest in Bombay Stock Exchange. How can I invest my money in Bombay Stock Exchange?
Sir, it can be done through participatory notes.
Yes, how? What's the process?
An institutional investor from America
Right.
will buy shares, will register itself with SEBI and buy shares in India. Then he will pass a note to the investor there that the shares are his. So it works that way.
And what is the role of participatory notes here?
Sir, to increase the investment in Indian stock market so that a foreigner can invest.
So who issues participatory notes for whom?
I am not aware about exact specifics.
Okay. You must have heard about this concept of BEPS, base erosion profit sharing.
Yes, sir.
So how this BEPS actually has brought a change in the commercial laws in India?
So base erosion and profit shifting was related to, generally what companies do is they park their they somehow manages to show that the profits are done somewhere else, so they try to reduce their taxation. So, but I am not aware about how India has made any law in this aspect.
Have you heard about double taxation avoidance agreement?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Sir, it is to facilitate the companies so that they are not taxed within their origin country and their country of operations.
With which country India has recently signed DTA agreement?
Sir, I am not aware about that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Arpit,
Yes, sir.
Arpit, recently we have seen a cyclone Asani is approaching.
Yes, sir.
So at the district level, what is the structure of a disaster management authority at the district level? Is there any authority which works within the district level?
Yes, sir. District Disaster Management Authority.
Right. Who that is headed by?
It's a district magistrate.
District magistrate. So what kind of the functions that it involves while taking care of the disaster, whether like it is natural or man-made or anyone?
Sir, first is before disaster, they have to properly send early warning systems and vacate a region if possible. Then after a disaster, if there are rescue operations, relief operations that have to be done at the district level, and in the longer run they have to build capacity so that the infrastructure is disaster resilient, and in general there is less threat from disaster to the economy and the infrastructure and people.
You come from Uttar Pradesh, and one of the region in Uttar Pradesh named Bundelkhand is facing severe water crisis.
Yes, sir.
So is there any policy which is being run by the state government to take care of this challenge?
Sir, policy is there regarding irrigation of
water supply. I mean to say whether
Yes.
it is part of the irrigation or drinking water facility.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, drinking water facilities, one, there are increase in tap connections in the region, drinking water tap connections. And irrigation, there have been schemes where they are trying to enhance the drip irrigation framework in the Bundelkhand region, so that generally most of the groundwater is consumed by irrigation to the tune of more than 90%. So that's how they are trying to reduce that.
In Uttar Pradesh, commissioner system has been implementable.
Yes, sir.
It's being implemented. And a few more districts are supposed to be covered under this is a system. Which are those districts? They are being proposed?
Sir, not aware about the proposed.
All right. Even though implementing this commissioner system, the law and order situation in Uttar Pradesh is not, you can say, improving. So the public perceptions about the policing is as same as it has been earlier. So what changes it has made into the system, apart from you can say grabbing more powers from the civil administration? That's it.
Sir, in general, when there is a commissionerate system, so there is a single authority. Currently, the urban setup witness a lot of crime because there is rising economy. When there is rising economy, there is rise in crimes. Then there are more issues related to traffic. So first of all, it separates those departments, the setting in accountability. Similarly, when there is one chain of command, the executive magisterial powers that are devolved to police, it leads to swifter actions.
I know that, but still public perception about the police is not getting changed. What the police has to do so that it could you can say earn the goodwill among the people's mind.
Sir, one as perception is mostly talked about. First, generally the bad acts are popularized. First, we have to popularize the good work that is being done by policemen.
Right.
It will serve two purposes, that policemen itself will understand what their work are, and it will send a right signal to the people.
Arpit, have you heard of the Interpol?
Yes, sir.
So, is there any representative of Interpol in India? Any institution or any person?
Yes, sir, there is a representative, but I am not aware. I am unable to recall who is.
All right. So, there are a number of the notices which are being issued by the Interpol, starting from black notice, yellow notice, blue notice. So, are you aware of the distinctions between these notices?
Sir, I am not aware about these distinctions.
All right, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Arpit.
Thank you, sir.
Your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. May I come in, sir?
Come, Arpit. Sit.
Thank you, sir.
You got into IPS last year?
Yes, sir.
How much did you get in the interview?
168, sir.
168. But Arpit, I mean, it is not very encouraging marks. They are capable of getting much more than what you got last year. Could you evaluate your performance last year? What happened?
Sir, one was related to primarily confidence. And generally there, I didn't came out properly. I was shielded in that sense. So I think that was the major problem.
So you know the issues and all that. So I will not waste my time and your time counseling you on the qualities of a civil servant. You are already there in the Indian Police Service. Only thing is you have to do extremely well in your personality test.
Yes, sir.
To get into the IAS proper. Maths, how have you fared compared to the last year?
Same, sir.
Same is there. You know everything, I did not tell you, but still at the cost of repetition, I must tell you that you are a wonderful personality, no doubt about it.
Thanks.
So you have already proved it also. When you go for the interview, try to stay honest all the time. The honesty is the biggest virtue of a bureaucracy. So honesty of thoughts, honesty of purpose, honesty, intellectual honesty, all kinds of honesty you have to demonstrate during your 30 minutes of performance. That is very important. Then stay calm, stay confident, speak with conviction of mind.
Yes, sir.
That is what is important. Don't try to be too much diplomatic in this.
Yes, sir.
And today's you did not buckle under any pressure, even if we tried to instigate you about the police department's functioning and all that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's there. It's a criticism. It's a part of life.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So stay cool. That is what is important. Maintain a positive body language.
Yes, sir.
That is important. Then never ever get into an argument with the board members, even under extreme provocation.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? If you feel that is going beyond a point, just retrace your step.
Yes.
Next advice to you is never ever enter into the area of guesswork.
Yes, sir.
No guesses, please.
Yes, sir.
If you don't know, admit clearly, I don't know, sir. You're not supposed to be knowing everything under the sun. If you don't know, you don't know. You don't know. That's it. And other, keep your head on your shoulder. That's it. Balanced person, and you are a balanced person, no doubt about it. And this time, I mean, you are capable of getting anything in the range of 200 also.
Thank you.
So try to, when you go for the interview, and don't ever even an iota of doubt in the minds of board members that you are already in the Indian Police Service, therefore you don't care for anything.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
So that kind of attitude should not be there.
Definitely.
It did not demonstrate here, but attitudinal problem should not be there.
Definitely, sir.
Isn't it? Stay humble, stay polite.
Yes,
That is
sir.
very important. Your birthday is on 17th August.
Yes, sir.
That happens to be Independence Day of Indonesia also.
Okay, sir.
So if somebody asks you this question, you never know what kind of weird questions are asked.
Yes,
If
sir.
at all this question is asked, and you should be at least
Yes,
aware
sir.
of the fact. And because you have opted for IAS, IFS both, so somebody may ask you
Yes,
this
sir.
question. Any questions, what questions will you ask when you don't know, we can't tell you also.
Yes, sir.
But by and large, your personality is good. And you should be getting very good marks. So this time, I wish God is with you, and with our good wishes,
Yes.
you will be getting into the IAS prep.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, all the best to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.